Good morning, Henros, on day 8 of the Shikoku Henro. My God, how time is flying by. 8 days already and having a great time. Not long ago, I arrived here in Japan and I was facing so many challenges, freaking out over the new time change, all the problems that I was having with the SIM card. You know, that's all long behind me. I feel like I'm finally getting used to the Henro routine. Today I woke up at 5:30 and at 6 in the morning they started shooting fireworks because there's a festival going on in the area. Today we have a day full jam-packed with things to see. We're gonna start with Temple 22. We're gonna walk to Temple 23. We're gonna see the ocean for the first time. We're gonna walk through those famous tunnels, the first one of many to come. And I'm gonna be taking either a bus or a train from Temple 23 to the border between the Tokushima and Koshi prefecture. So yes, cloudy day, cool temperatures. What can I say? Temple 22, Byodoji, stands as an enduring symbol of humanity's collective aspiration for universal well-being. In the year 814, Kobodachi sought enlightenment within these hallowed grounds. Here, the compassionate Yakushi Nyorai graced his thoughts, inspiring a solemn pledge to heal all beings impartially, addressing both their physical afflictions and the inner turmoil. Ascending the ancient staircase, visitors are greeted by the majestic main hall, adorned with images depicting Yakushi Nyorai alongside the celestial guardians of the sun, moon, and the 12 heavenly generals. Their presence ensures not only protection but also the promise of prosperity for all who seek refuge within these sacred walls. Legend intertwines with reality as tales are told of Kukai's fervent prayers for safeguarding. In response, a divine intervention unfurled. A vibrant 5-color cloud parted, unveiling sacred Sanskrit characters and summoning the benevolent essence of Yakushi Nyorai. In gratitude, Kukai sanctified the earth, digging a well whose water possessed miraculous purity and healing properties, revealed across the land as Kobodashi's sacred water. Bathed in the sanctity of these life-giving waters and fortified by the flames of Goma ritual spanning 100 days, Kukai erected an image of Yakushi Nyorai. Thus, Byodoji emerged as a beacon of equality and compassion, a sanctuary where the shared pursuit of happiness and relief binds all sentient beings in kinship and understanding. Unfortunately, it happened for the second time. I left my stamp book at the temple. I wasn't far away, but the lady from the office came running after, yelling at me, and she gave it to me, so I was so grateful. This is the second time. I don't know if the book is gonna make it all the way through, and it's starting to look like it was a great idea to also get the scroll, because that one I haven't left it behind yet. It's just that I'm doing so many things. I'm filming, drying the ink on the scroll, then I had to roll it up, put it in the protective casing, put it in my backpack, get all my gear, all my vlogging kit, and the book kind of camouflages always with the surroundings. I would have found out about it anyways because I'm carrying it here next to me on this satchel, and I have my iPad in there, which is what I'm using for navigation. So as soon as I crossed over that bridge, I would have taken it out to see which way to go, and I would have noticed that I left the book behind. But I'm so impressed with how honest and helpful the Japanese people are. Incredible. All right, 23 kilometers to Temple 23. Nice and easy. Let's do it. I've been walking on this quiet backcountry road for a while now, and I came across another snake, but this one wasn't alive. He was dead. He got run over. It was a baby one, but it was good to see it dead, just so that I can spot it out in the wilderness. Also, this guy stopped his car and gave me some osetai. He gave me some candy. Thank you. Arigato. Also, I've been monitoring the Facebook groups, and they say that next year in 2024, I think it's starting in April, all the temples are gonna raise the prices for the calligraphy stamp. So instead of being 300 yen, which is about $2, it's now gonna be 500. That's for the book. The second thing that they're doing, and this is gonna affect us even more, is now they're changing the hours of operation from 7 in the morning. Now it's gonna be from 8 o'clock in the morning. So instead of staying at a near temple, I think it's better to stay in between. And then the next morning you can start walking early, make it to the first one by 8 o'clock, and then you should be fine. Look where I am, rice fields, backcountry road, nobody else around. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day. Thank you. Osetai?
Osetai.
Thank you. Wait. I got some. So it was at this Henro house next to this busy road that I met two Japanese Henros that I stayed with in last night and the day before by taking the dam route, which was pretty cool. I avoided the first tunnel of the day, but I won't be avoiding the second one, which is coming right up ahead. Famous for being so loud and full of traffic, and you know, it is part of the journey. You can't avoid them. Sometimes you can take an alternative that goes over the mountain to the other side. But if they're short, you know, you can just push through. All right, let's do the first one then. Oh, it's not really that bad. But we got a good echo. Echo! Echo! So that was the first tunnel. Not too busy. I got to walk on the middle of the road for a little stretch there. And as you can see, we're 95 kilometers away from Cape Moroto. This is the one section of the pilgrimage that most people consider to be a little bit boring. It's up to you to decide whether you want to walk next to this busy road all the way with the ocean on your side, or if you want to use the public transportation just to gain some ground. I got off that busy road at the first chance that I got, and now that I'm here on a quieter road, just for a little stretch before reconnecting with it once again, let's just talk about the biggest difference between the caminos in Europe and here in Shikoku. In Europe, if you're not walking every step of the way, you got all the judgmental people online telling you that you're not a true pilgrim, whatever that is. But here in Shikoku, I found out that it is a more relaxed atmosphere. They don't really impose any rules on you other than you have to visit all the temples. How you get to them is up to you. As I have mentioned in days past, the vast majority of people just do the pilgrimage on car, on buses. Only a small fraction, a small percentage of us do it by walking, and an even smaller percentage do the entire loop at once. So yes, no judging just because I'm gonna take a train. It's actually the norm, and I just want to be able to show you guys at least one temple per day, maybe having a day off here and there when I'm just out in nature, but to have 4 or 5 days in a row where we don't get to see a temple and it's just walking next to a major busy road, I don't see what's the point in that. Also, by taking the train, I will be able to take some days off to rest, some rest days in the major cities up ahead. So yeah, been seeing dead animals, of course, roadkill on the road, and I also saw a warning sign, I guess, for the snakes. I'm from Florida. Over there we see beware of the alligators, and you know, after living there for 30 years, I don't pay attention to those anymore. I just know I can swim in any water, any body of water, or even get next to the water's edge. Here, I guess you have to be careful where you put your feet, where you step, and just be on the lookout, always scanning for the snakes. My hat is falling off. It's the wind. It is the wind. Now I could have continued walking down that secluded road, but then I got to a split and I saw that there's the historic route, and I decided, you know what, let's go for it. Today is not long enough anyways, so let's make it longer and harder because we're gonna go over the mountains, but there's an amazing viewpoint from up there. Let's go. Now it goes without saying that the historic route is more challenging, steeper, and but yeah, more beautiful. We're out here in nature once again, It is windy right now with a nice cool breeze, and I cannot wait to see the Pacific Ocean from that viewpoint for the first time on this trip. It's only 2 kilometers long, so it's not really that bad. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Tell me about this view, guys. Amazing, amazing. There's the Pacific. Cannot believe that I'm seeing it for the first time on this trip. And now is the descent all the way down to that road so that I can continue on to Temple 23. Have we made it to the Pacific Ocean? Oh boy, what do you think? Yes, a new stage on the journey. There's that freezing cold water, which I'm not even gonna attempt to get into. Remember, the first time I saw the Pacific was when I moved to Los Angeles, and I ran into it in slow motion like in a movie, and as soon as I got in, I made a U-turn and came back out because this guy grew up in the Caribbean and the water needs to be at least 80 degrees for me to get in there. But it is beautiful. I'm walking in this desolate beach, which is, what's going on here? I mean, this should be packed full of people enjoying the water, enjoying the view. Oh my God. I'm loving this section of the Henro for sure. I saw this vending machine on the side of the road and decided, you know what, it is time for a mid-morning break, even though it's 11:30 in the morning. And I went for an Aquarius as always, and I need to drink this entire bottle right here because there are no trash cans here in Japan except the ones that you find next to the vending machines. We are 10 kilometers away from the temple. It is almost noon. And this lady saw me not far away from the vending machine, and she offered me some osetai, which I couldn't refuse. Arigato. Arigato.
Where are you from?
America.
America.
Yes. Now, the osetai culture here in Shikoku is unlike anything that I've seen before. It goes beyond even the one on the Appalachian Trail with the trail magic and the trail angels. You have to remember that this is a pilgrimage. And for them, when they see the Henros, we are like the embodiment of Kobodashi. So to them, it's an offering that they're giving to Kobodashi, and you cannot say no. And how could I? I mean, this is just delicious. And we are back in the forest. Today it's just been one of those days when we have a healthy amount of everything that we're gonna see on this trip. We walked on the road, we went through tunnels, next to the beach, in the forest, through small fishing villages. I mean, everything all wrapped up in one stage. Now let's talk a little bit more about the public transportation. since we're on the subject, one thing that you can do, for example, I wanted to stay in this town where Temple 23 is, but there's a festival going on and all the accommodations were full. The options that I had was maybe take the train back to Tokushima and take a day off there and then continue on. Or I could have gone forward, let's say one stage, stay at an accommodation for 2 nights, and then the next morning just take like a day backpack, come back to the same point and walk to the accommodation. That will be what is called a slack pack day. So you have options to move around. If you don't want to miss 1 inch of the Camino or of the Henro, you can always come back to where you took the train or the bus from. I've seen people taking taxis as well, but the taxis might be the most expensive way to do this trip. Today has just been full of surprises. First, it was that cave that I just spent some time over there, and now here at the entrance of town, there's this pool full of turtles next to this abandoned hotel. I think I made it just in time for celebration. Made it to Temple 23 at 1:51, which means I'm gonna have enough time to visit the temple and probably get the 3 o'clock train instead of taking the 5-1, which will be even better. Temple number 23, Yakuoji, known as the Temple of the Great Healer, commands a breathtaking view of Jiwasa Bay and the majestic Jiwasa Castle. This revered sanctuary marks the culmination of the pilgrimage temples in Tokushima Prefecture, esteemed as centers of awakening faith within the esteemed Koyasan Shingon sect. Founded in 726 at the behest of Emperor Shomu by the Venerable Gyoki, Yakuoji endured the trials of time, succumbing to fire in 1188 only to be resurrected under the patronage of Emperor Go-Daigo. Throughout its history, successive emperors held steadfast faith in the temple's efficacy, dispatching envoys to beseech protection against misfortune. In 1963, the towering Yugito Pagoda graced the temple's grounds, its lofty presence a testament to the harmony of heaven and earth. Crowned with 5 sorin atop its roof, it stands as a beacon of spiritual alignment and divine grace. In Japanese society, the fear of misfortune haunting specific years compels devout seekers to seek solace within its sacred walls. Pilgrims flock from all corners of Japan, drawn by the temple's reputation as a bastion against ill luck. Model ships dotting the ground serve as tangible reminders of Buddha's protective embrace over seafarers. Take care. Bye. Hey, trying to get the ticket, but I couldn't find the station. Hello. Hawaii?
Okay.
607. It's 3:40 in the afternoon, and after taking 6 stops on the train, I am in Awakaina station, just at the border between the 2 prefectures. And I just had enough time after leaving Temple 23 to get a couple of shots of the celebration. I also managed to get something to eat for lunch. You know, I was just pointing because I couldn't really understand or didn't know what I was being offered. So, you know, of course I had to go with the Coca-Cola because everybody knows what that sounds like in any language. And then it's just been a nice ride over here on the train. Made it here an hour ahead of schedule because originally I was supposed to take the 5 o'clock one. So I took the 3. And yeah, I'm gonna see new people from now on because I'm ahead of all the groups that I've been walking with. I think the closest one to me is probably like a day behind. So maybe by the time I make it to Koshi City and I take a rest day, I'll see them again. If not, there's plenty of time and room for new friends. And here we are in my room. Does this remind you of something? Bunk beds. Really? But we still got air conditioning. Come on, Europe, you can learn something from this. The walk here to this guest house was still a good one. I say about 20 minutes, and I completely lost my GPS on the tablet. I'm so glad that yesterday I kind of looked it over a few times and I had a mental picture of where I had to go. And no problems. Finally, I got my own bathroom over here, which is luxury. The guy speaks a little bit of English, which is more than I need. Dinner is at 6:30, as always also. And what can I say? The end of a great day, man. Today, we had it all, right? We had mountains, we had the beach, we had a festival, we took a train, we saw a few highlights, tunnels, I mean, you name it. What a way to say goodbye to Tokushima, guys. Tomorrow we start with Koshi. It's probably on the other side of those mountains over there. Season 2 of the Shikoku Henro. I'll talk to you guys about all the different stages here, and tomorrow we start the ascetic training. Supposedly Tokushima is the awakening, is the honeymoon, I have to say, where everything is new, everything is fresh, you're bumping into the walls, and now, from now on, we kind of know what we're doing a little bit, and we're gonna start focusing on the plan ahead. Let me just take a shower because I reeked today. I'm 50 kilometers away from Temple 24. I should be getting there in around a day and a half or two. Well, you are not gonna believe it. I thought I was gonna be on my own and with a new crowd, and I actually met the two Australians that I saw on day one leaving Bango Station, going on my way to Temple 1, and we had dinner together. It was a very nice and cozy atmosphere, and we had another great spread. What can I say? It's just been one of those trips. Tomorrow there's no breakfast in this hotel where I'm staying, where there's only 3 people. That's how it is. So yeah, I want to thank, of course, the trail angel of the day, Leida Castellano, my friend from my TV years. We worked together in Los Angeles. Her and Ibra Morales are the only 2 of my coworkers that support me, that have supported this channel. So thank you so much, Leida. Of course, guys, if you haven't already subscribed, do so. Hit that bell notification, and of course, follow to stay in the loop. See you guys tomorrow at 7 a.m. I gotta find a place to have breakfast. We'll see.